All right, welcome to CAPECAST, a CAPECAST episode that we probably kind of never expected to happen, but hoped would happen.
Yeah, in-person CAPECAST.
Yep.
Reviewing.
Yes, this is Brandon's magical movie theater. I'll be sure to get some more pictures of it for social, because I'm sure people will ask.
Welcome.
He's very humble about it, but it's pretty awesome. So this and also I gotta say, thank you for the new shirt, Brandon.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah, had to rep it today. I like your shirt. You're looking good.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. It's my only one.
Yeah, I got a lot of them. So we are about 4 hours removed from Zack Snyder's Justice League, our initial viewing of it.
Yeah, I guess we could have watched it again, but we needed some sleep.
Yeah. So last night we watched. I got here to his house. We watched BVS at like 6-7ish, and then rolled right into the red carpet premiere thing with Kevin Smith, and then did some podcast testing stuff and twiddled our thumbs until 3 a.m. Eastern.
Yep, took a nap.
Ah, yes.
At 2.
Little power nap. And then just basked in the glory that was Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I will say, we wanted to get on here and do kind of an initial reaction video. We are planning on doing a review of this film. Obviously, we thought it would be cool to do it chapter by chapter. So that will be kind of the method that we release the reviews in.
Yeah.
But I really don't even know where to start. Like you were talking about last night, when we got like 15 minutes in or something, he paused the movie and he's like, I feel like this. It's a weird feeling. I feel like this footage like shouldn't exist. Like
it's like, I think I said it's like a dream. Like
yeah.
I feel like that I don't understand how it's like in front of me. I don't understand why it's here, how it's here.
Yeah.
It just felt like, I don't know. It just felt otherworldly because I never thought that we would see it, for one, and just like having already seen a different version, completely, vastly different version of this movie, obviously. Like it just it felt strange seeing it as it was intended, but just seeing it in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing I'll say is it did not feel like 4 hours to me.
No. I mean, I think the chapters definitely help with that too, but no, it moves along at a pretty good pace. Lots of ups and downs as far as,
Yep.
action, dialogue driven stuff.
And there wasn't, a lot of people were concerned about there maybe being a lot of like filler type footage in this thing, and like did not get that vibe at all.
No, I mean, I could see like some areas where you could, like, if you wanted to, you could trim some stuff down that were just there for like contextual stuff.
Sure.
I don't know how spoilery we're gonna get. I know this is more of an initial reactions type thing. But like the lady singing for Aquaman, like you could have cut that down. It was cool, but
yeah,
could have knocked that out. Like
sure.
Alfred and Wonder Woman making tea and stuff like that, like little like more just like contextual character moments like that
sure.
are cool to see, but overall, you could cut it if you needed to. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they kept everything that they did.
I will say, because like I've got to do a download. This is going to be spoiler-y. We'll make sure that's clear in all the descriptions and everything, but because I want to talk about certain things in this movie that surprised me, like out of the gates, that surprised me. And one of the things that I was expecting it, but it was even more so, was the treatment of the Amazons in this movie.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I know. That was probably one of my main takeaways as well. Just how, like, there's...
I'm sorry, but Wonder Woman 84,
Yeah,
compared to this, not even.
No, I mean, and there's a lot of them. There's like much more than I expected to be
Yep.
in this movie.
Hippolyta's in it a good bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, she gets like, what, 30 seconds of time in Wonder Woman 84, and then she gets like, at least, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes in this one. If more.
yeah, that it was just so, and everything obviously with Wonder Woman 2 going right was consistent with that. Her action and oh my gosh, like it was that scene we saw at the end of BVS where it was just that like warrior battle hardened chick, and she like that's exactly what she was in this movie. She had some heart with Bruce and the other members of the League, Cyborg, but like that was my main takeaway with her is like, good gosh, I missed this. Like even the bank robbery scene, like
yeah.
whew.
Yeah, I mean, she's
Snyder gets a bad, like he gets knocked for the speed ramping and stuff at times, but I love it. Like
I do too. I mean, there's a lot of it in here.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of it goes hand in hand with Snyder at this point.
Yeah.
Not that he created it, but it's just a signature of his for sure. But no, I mean, like it's probably like heresy to say this, but I just love, like, in comparison to the way Patty Jenkins has portrayed Wonder Woman and like the mascara and Amazons, I prefer it this way. I mean, it appeals to my sensibilities.
To the choir right now, so, and that's not to knock. Like I love the original Wonder Woman movie. I super enjoy it. That's
true,
but,
and Zack also had involvement in that, so
true, yeah.
I feel like that plays a big part in it.
But even that, like, as far as like the action sequences, like I could see the scene of her in Wonder Woman where they're kind of retaking that town and the no man's land, like that kind of stuff is very kind of consistent with this action style. But
I'm pretty sure it has Damon Caro as a stunt coordinator.
Yeah.
Which is Zack's.
Yeah. So if you were to pick, other than obviously the Amazon stuff, if you were to pick, we'll say one thing that surprised you the most in this movie, what would it be?
No Supergirl.
That theory.
We were wrong, guys.
Evaporated.
Hey, where's my camera?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, sorry. Pretty confident about that one, but
sorry, Chris. Yeah.
We were wrong. No Supergirl.
Open pod, though.
You did get open pod, and you get the Kryptonian, the female Kryptonian outfit. But sadly, no. What surprises? I don't know. Do you have any off the top of your head? Because I'm trying to think of
So I will say mine. I'll preface this by saying, unfortunately, 2 days ago, I saw the final TV spot for this movie, which spoiled the Diana on the pyre and Darkseid, all the could be future type stuff. That sequence, which I think if I would have seen that when I was watching the movie, that probably would be like my number one shocker type moment.
It was a shocker to me because I wouldn't watch that.
I know. I tried so hard to get him to watch it. Tried so hard, but he held. Kudos to you.
I think when we saw that scene in the last trailer, we made a comment that it looked like it was some sort of funeral pyre, and it looked like Amazons that were around.
Yeah. But. I will contend that the Knightmare stuff at the end. I watched this whole movie, and we got to the final Steppenwolf battle with they cut his head off, and it rolls to Doomsday Darkseid's feet,
which was great.
Yep,
Loved
he
it.
crushes his skull. Like, oh gosh, Warner Media, if you
Restore
do not
the
continue
Snyderverse.
this, what are you doing? But I got to that part and I was just like, jeez, this is like a 4-course meal, and then we still had the Knightmare stuff and the Martian Manhunter Lake House thing, and like it just kept coming. But the Knightmare stuff specifically, the dynamic between the Joker and Ben Affleck's Batman, that's
a scene that I'm looking forward to seeing again, because there was a lot of dialogue that got, like, I didn't catch at first.
Yep.
So I know that there's, like, you know, definitely the Robin stuff that they talk about.
The Harley Quinn element to it. And
see, I missed that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot that I missed in that sequence.
So when he started talking about the family stuff, death in the family-ish type stuff, I was like, oh, this is so cool. I can't believe we're seeing this in live action. Mm-hmm. And then, like, everything they said, it was like, oh, we're taking this up a level, and then, of course, at the end of that sequence with Anti-Life Superman showing up, and oh gosh, I have to. Brandon, listen to my face, my words. I have to see the rest of what happens in this.
Oh, I know. I have to as well. We're on the same page. That shot looked like it was maybe an alternate take from the Nairobi scene.
Yep. Or the Knightmare BBS scene where he drops down. Mm-hmm. One of those, yeah. But yeah, I guess those two are kind of my standouts. And again, like, it's one of those things where I'm like, people have been texting me this morning, like, you know, what'd you think of it? And I was like, first, you know, quicker high level view, like, I loved this movie. But at the same time, like, you got to realize that I've been waiting for this bad boy for years, and it was just like I'm just looking at this thing like, oh, it's here.
That's what I've had similar texts. Like, I loved it. Obviously, I was gonna love it. I was born to love this movie, essentially. But just like most movies, I'm like, this is on a different level, but I'm constantly like judging it for like what I'm liking in the moment, what I'm not liking in the moment. Mm-hmm. And then on like repeat watchings, that stuff, I just, I know how everything's going to play out, and I'm allowed to just sit back and, enjoy it. With this one, it's even like at a higher level, because while I'm watching it, I'm also doing that, but I'm also comparing it to something that I've already seen.
Right.
That has similar structure.
Sure.
It's better in pretty much in every single regard.
Pretty
much. It's not. I will say this though. With the Cyborg Silas stuff, mm-hmm. Cyborg has that moment where he's like looking in the closet of the mother box, and he's like saying, he like says something to his dad about his dad created a monster or something like that. I think I like the version in theatrical better when he's like, when Silas is like, "You're not a monster" or whatever, and he's like, "It's funny that you thought that I meant me," or something like that.
Yeah.
I like that line better personally.
Yeah.
But that's probably the only thing that I could say about theatrical, as far as like
next.
You can't drop me out like Chris. You're in my house, bro.
No, I get you. That's a good question though. Was there anything in this that that kind of pulled you out of the movie, or I will say the end scene with Martian Manhunter, it was weird because it was obviously a reshoot and Ben just kind of looked small.
Yeah.
So like that kind of stuff, even the Knightmare thing, like they were doing a lot of, like, you could tell that like the cowl wasn't exactly how it fit before. And these are again, these are all like super nitpicky, down in the weeds.
It's amazing what they were able to pull off, considering they came back 5 years later, or however long it was since principal photography.
Yep.
And they shot it during COVID, like in the heat of COVID. So I give him a little bit of pass. Like with Zack having to reuse, footage, just to piece things together. Like I think it's, he did a great job.
Freaking good job with it. That's for sure. And that nightmare sequence, dude you could tell he was loving on that dream lens. Like,
yeah. Well, you're talking about like Ben and Leto, the chemistry. It's funny because they weren't even together filming that, which is crazy.
Yeah. But you could just...
I could have done without the reach around comment that Joker made.
That's one that, like, I guess I remember. I just, like, I need to see it again.
I'm like, is there a double meaning to this, or is he just talking about a reach around? Because if it's just a reach around, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess kind of like what you're saying. I need to really kind of... It's gonna be tough too because this thing's 4 hours long. So like usually like you watch a 2-hour movie and you can digest, rewatch. Like I feel like I want to sit down and over the course of this weekend, of course, we will watch this movie like 4 or 5 times. See. But yeah,
pump the brakes, kid.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
We got Falcon and the Winter Soldier today, so.
Oh gosh,
just kidding. That's tomorrow.
Yeah,
but it ain't tomorrow either.
I will say it was great to wake up. I woke up and flipped on Twitter, and last night I went to bed. It was trending #1. Woke up today. Snyder Cut was trending #1 also.
Yeah. One thing that did surprise me is Mera. The treatment of Mera.
Yeah.
Was great.
Yep.
Just I don't know. I mean, I like Aquaman. I like that movie overall. I have issues with a lot of the comedy beats, and definitely like we've talked about like Mira's obvious wig that she has, and she's not doing whatever she's doing like some just regular accent, like American accent or something. She just seems more like a character. I just tend to prefer Zack's treatment just in general.
Sure, I mean
for most characters.
Well, the thing is too with her, I think. One of the reasons that, and I've been very vocal about the fact that I'm not really a fan of her character in Aquaman. And I think that's part of the reason is because, like, I remember seeing the Mira image and stuff that Zack, like, put up way, way back. Mm-hmm. And just, like, it's funny because it's, like, just the context of this one image where I was, like, and knowing how he does films, like, what I was expecting for this character, and then what we got in Aquaman was just like such a departure from what I was expecting. Yeah. And then the rose petal thing did not help. The hair didn't help. Like, I don't know.
The music drops.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But
that's a podcast for another time.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I will say that I will also say that Flash. It's funny because there are a lot of lines in this movie that I would have probably guessed that would have been Whedon additions, but in the context of the film, like they just worked better. And that's not to say they were all like amazing, but like it wasn't like he drops the snack hole line and I'm like, oh gosh, like what are we getting into? It's just. I don't know, just the atmosphere, the colors, and like obviously the biggest part of it is probably the music, to be honest. Just really setting a tone, and there's one moment for the Flash at the end of this movie, end-ish of this movie, that like chill moment where the mother box explosion and he like jets into the Speed Force. Like it was just I loved the music and I loved all the visuals, and like the first thing I thought of was like, oh man, Chris is gonna love this. He's a huge Flash fan.
Yeah no I think I mean every character is improved upon in comparison to theatrical, but definitely Barry, obviously Victor, like he's completely like they didn't have anything from theatrical.
I have to say too before I forget, thank the Lord that they addressed the fact that these the Flash and Cyborg could dig this grave in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was such a sticking point for me in the theatrical, but it drove me nuts. These two, super beings are just sweating it out with no explanation for why, or I don't know.
Yep. That was definitely good to see.
Yeah. And I guess
so you mentioned music. What'd you think about music?
it was good. The one thing that stood out to me the most was I was not worried, but because I love Wonder Woman's theme so much, and I knew there was going to be a twist on it. Got
a little repetitive.
It's just one of those. It's just one of those things where I don't. It was. I will say it was awesome, but towards the end, like you're saying, towards the end of the movie, I was like, I don't.
They keep bringing in that female vocal thing that they were doing.
Yeah, I could have gone for 2 or 3 less times where they did that. I guess is all I'm saying, or spread it out more.
The music for me, I think, in pieces, it's all great, compositions of music. I think some work better than others. Some felt a little too in your face than others. Which is never what you want. You don't want it to be sticking out. You want to feel it. So I think, and it's also one of those things where, again, I've only watched the theatrical a handful of times, but I do remember the music and knowing that this music accompanies this usually, and then now having a different set of music in it. It's, even though it's better, it's still sets you back a little bit. If you're used to hearing something different, just like line delivery, it's what I always complain about with these Disney live action remakes, like Lion King. I know that original animated movie front to back. I know all the line. I know how it's delivered. Going to watch the live action, which is pretty much a shot for shot remake. When you've got actors taking liberties with these lines, it's and not that this is the same scenario in Justice League, but it's when you've had one way that you're used to hearing it, it's going to take me a few viewings to get that out of my head as far as expecting something to sound this way or that kind of thing.
Right.
And I'm not saying that I prefer the theatrical lines or delivery or anything like that. I just it's gonna take a few viewings.
Well, it's a unique experience. It's not something that really any of us have. Really any of us period have gone through, where a major theatrical release like this is just completely retooled and
just for instance, you're just even the footage of Zack's that they used in theatrical, because they tacked on these weird blue screen background, you're out of your mind, Bruce Wayne, and then he does this belly flop or whatever.
I was watching that scene last night. That's another one that just drives me nuts. And I was in my mind, I was like, don't show it. Don't do it.
Just stuff like that, because it's in your head.
Yeah. And
then you're like, oh, they didn't do it. But normally I wouldn't be thinking about that. Right. I'd just be watching the movie. So it's you're playing it's a lot. It's such an unprecedented type of viewing experience as far as, at least for me. But
speaking of Aquaman, I very much enjoyed how they treated the Atlantean side of things. And that's not to say anything bad about James Wan's Aquaman, but I think we talked about it before Aquaman came out. I've just always kind of been on the whole talking underwater thing is still just a little weird for me. I understand in a movie you've got to do what you got to do to make it
seemed like they did more of a almost like a aboriginal click clack type sonar type language, which was cool. But I get in a full feature you don't want to have to rely on that or subtitles or something, so Agreed. It makes sense for them to.
It was cool to see. It's one of those things that he puts. When you watch these movies, you just get so shocked at how much thought he puts into each one of these characters. Especially when you got to cast this, you got to cast a net for this wide. just seems like it would be an exhausting process to go through to really like think through everything that he thinks through for all of these characters to give them the treatment they deserve.
One thing that I will say, like, I feel like if we're gonna call them like the button scenes, the epilogue scenes, mainly the Luther Deathstroke scene, the Knightmare scene,
God, I totally forgot about
the
that
lake house scene. I think it's just the nature of this. They felt just like bonus tacked on type scenes. They didn't flow, like they just kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
I still loved them, but as far as the rest of the movie felt like, I mean it's an epilogue, so I guess it can get away with that maybe, but
yeah, I think, I wonder if that would have changed if the length of the movie was different. Because it was such a long, and not in a bad way, but it was just like, this is a long movie. Like, to get even to the point where they were with the final battle with Steppenwolf, you're, 3+ hours in. Like,
I mean, Superman doesn't come into the picture till what, like...
I was very shocked about that, too. Like, I was kind of expecting him, like, I don't know,
Part 3, yeah. I mean, that's what I think we guessed when we were, like, breaking down the chapter titles. We assumed that, was it Change Machine was going to be Soup's return.
And, that's something we can talk about, too. I got my Superman that I that I wanted to see. A black suit Superman.
Speaking of, you just pre-ordered a little ditty.
I did.
Was it Weta or was it?
Guys, I've reached a point of no return with my figurine geek collection.
You have to refinance your house.
Yeah. I got pre-approved for a loan, and no. I pre-ordered the 3rd scale Prime 1 black suit Superman.
3rd scale. It's going to be so big.
Oh, it's great. It's awesome. It's like,
I love it.
It's like 34 or 35 inches tall. Which...
it looks awesome.
I hate to say it, Brandon. It would look great here. It's probably a little too big for my house, but it would look great here.
I think it's too big for it there, too.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's going to be such a different... Speaking of scale, like, it was cool to see, like, Zeus and Ares, like, just being, like, towering over, like, different scale in the history lesson.
Dude, if this Darkseid storyline...
The David Doulis stuff was a little...
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, I could see that.
That's one thing that I will say. I mean, I know that it was, like... we had less than a year to get this.
Sure.
Finished.
Oh, it's amazing what they got done.
Especially, like Steppenwolf... His like interlocking metal stuff,
all reflective.
Yeah,
like
awesome. Cyborg looked amazing.
Yep.
There were a few shots that could have been better, but overall, especially for how many effect shots are in this movie, you're gonna get a few ones that are.
If I had one that was not the best for me, it'd be Martian Manhunter.
That one honestly didn't bother me. The ones that bother me as far as characters would be David Doulis' face on the Ares stunt double.
Mm-hmm.
And Flash in the Knightmare. Right before his visor closes, you can really tell that that's a CG face.
Yeah. I missed that one.
Yeah. But other than that, I thought it was pretty solid.
Well, how many... There 2,000 some VFX shots in this movie. Yeah.
But that's the thing about Snyder is he knows, unlike a lot of directors, he knows how to utilize VFX. It's like his VFX are not as subtle as, say, like David Fincher, who also knows how to use VFX in ways that you would just assume that it's a natural, like, in-camera shot.
Yeah.
But Snyder also does that, but like more in your face.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah. The way this movie opens is awesome. The DC logo with the lightning from the Doomsday sequence and the scream and how they show it. You know, we saw it in the trailer, but resonating throughout the world, hitting all the different mother boxes. Like, I think last time we were watching it, it was either you or me. I don't know. One of us was like, we're 5 minutes into this movie. We're like, how did they cut this out?
Yeah.
Like, it was so, the theatrical movie, like, I didn't care at all about the mother boxes. Like,
then
they were just like these
you a reason
objects.
to.
Like,
yeah, it was a MacGuffin. It was just like, this is the thing that they're, it's like,
Yeah.
everything about that movie was so like boilerplate.
Yeah.
And just like you didn't care about anything. It's just,
they didn't explain the Unity, didn't explain Darkseid, like, didn't explain any consequences. Steppenwolf's like coming, yeah, that too. That was another thing. We looked at each other and we were like,
Steppenwolf is so layered in this movie.
Yeah.
And I love how, like,
he's trying to, like, earn back the respect of Darkseid.
Trust of Darkseid, and they hint at that, and he and Darkseid being like the mediator between he and Darkseid.
Yeah.
And I loved how they introduced Darkseid
with all the demons kneeling behind him.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy, he's coming. That's awesome. Ray Porter knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
With this one, as expected after watching the trailers, like, I mean,
turn your bass up.
Do it. It's a wall shaker.
Yeah, I think Katie was asleep in the room, like, just down the hall, and
she said I couldn't hear anything, but things were just shaking.
Yeah, that's the thing about soundproofing a room. You can soundproof it for the highs, but the lows that are going to rattle things are still going to reverberate throughout the house, unfortunately.
And you can be darn straight we're cranking this bad boy up when we watched it the first time.
Yep. I kept turning it up.
Yeah.
I started at like -10 dB, and I was like, I think we worked to like -4.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, talk to me, Brandon. Batman. Theatrical versus this. Anything that stood out to you specifically? Batman guy.
I love him laying on the turf. Something's definitely bleeding.
He's got like his cape. His cape looks like it's 1/2-inch leather thick. Like,
that's just quintessential Batman for me.
His boots are like caught on it, so he can't get up. He's like pulling his head down.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, every character is improved in this movie. Definitely Batman, for sure. You don't see Batman until, you guess you see him in the BVS.
A lot of Bruce, and yeah, then it's...
but he doesn't show up until the rooftop scene with Gordon. Is that when he shows up?
Yep. It's pretty awesome.
That's the thing I made that comment. I was like, what is this, Dark Knight Rises? You don't see Batman until 2 hours in.
I will say his character growth in this movie is phenomenal. I love the whole have faith thing that he leans into with Alfred in this one.
His dialogue with Alfred is very good. Like, it's good to have that. Their chemistry is great in BVS, and it continues in this one.
Agreed.
Especially with the Terrio dialogue.
Dude can write some dialogue.
There was something I was gonna.
Cowless Bruce. I'm just naming things Brandon likes.
I do like that. We both
Knightmare,
like that.
Batman. Do what?
So we both like that.
Yeah,
Big fans of that.
That's true. Guy's got the look. He should come back and play it again and again.
He definitely should.
There's so many potential, not only continuation, which, I mean, come on, guys, how do you not finish this storyline? You've got to. But also, main storyline, but also the spin-offs potential. You got the Luthor Yacht Deathstroke scene, which I honestly kind of I'd forgotten about with the Knightmare stuff and all that.
Was the music the same at the end of that as it was in theatrical?
the like stringed Luther stuff. Yeah.
Is that a motif? Is that a Luther motif from BVS?
They definitely like it's like the same music that they play when they show the painting.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to place it because I was like, this is the theatrical music.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, that makes sense. I guess I just didn't recognize it.
Like I kind of associate it with the Luther Mansion, like the scenes there.
No, I can hear it now.
But yeah,
sorry guys.
He's so embarrassing. I'm sorry.
I'll see myself out.
Katie. I mean, is there anything? First off, I gotta say, we're right after we finish this recording, we're about to roll into viewing number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything before we kind of wrap up with the initial reaction? Is there anything else that you want to talk about or stood out to you that you want to talk about now before we do our 6-chapter reviews?
I'll say that like this movie had some things that I didn't expect. It also had some things that I expected that didn't happen or was very like quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, we had lots of theories about like the League felling and Flash going back and stuff like that. Like I felt like that was going to be a longer sequence than it was.
Yeah.
Also like just like the Bat Tank. I was like, oh, what could this be? And it's just like just attacking just one shot.
Yeah.
But I know that we were like, oh, maybe this is when he's like looking for the parademon nest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
we do think I don't know what made me just think of this, but the Anti-Life soups, like where he's kneeling down in the where he's kneeling down next to Darkseid, is that is Lois like charred, right?
That's what I thought.
That's okay. That's what I'm imagining.
That's where my head went.
Yeah.
I wonder if casual audiences will pick up on that.
There's a chance for it because of the dialogue. That I think they mentioned it a couple of times. Obviously, when I rewatch, I'll be able to say more definitively.
Lois is the key.
Yeah, like, and something about
darker.
Yeah, like Bruce is saying, like, I think it's something else, something darker about that. Yeah, I said it like 4 times already, but I'm gonna need you guys to make Justice League 2 and 3.
You got to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be I don't understand. There's some people out there that are saying like this is a great like capper to the trilogy.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, oh gosh, like come on.
It's so open ended.
Yeah. It's a massive cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to. We're doing this kind of off the cuff, so it's kind of. I'm trying to just like play it back quickly in my head. Things that.
I mean, that's the purpose. Like initial reaction, just kind of get out there what we're thinking, and then we'll go back and review everything in depth. Certainly in depth with us.
No doubt.
So technically, it'll be 7 because of the epilogue, right? For us.
Yeah.
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 All right, Brandon.
Good stuff. Unlike we're not doing the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League by the minute approach.
Yeah.
Like Colbert and Dice are doing.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna do the parts.
They'll be they'll be doing that show when they're like 65 and
yeah.
They're probably there's a part of them that's probably hoping that JL 2 and 3 doesn't come out. Oh man.
Yeah.
Kidding, of course. Kidding. All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps up our initial take on Zack Snyder's Justice League. We're stoked to watch it a ridiculous amount of times over the next couple days. I will say if you love talking about this movie and really any other geek anything, please give us a follow on Twitter at CAPECAST Show. Also, if you enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button, and that way you can stay up to date on all of the videos and live streams that we are putting out. So, Brandon, well, first off, just pound it. It happened. It finally happened.
It happened.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Until next time, my friend.
So long.